Ladies and gentlemen, following on from my last video, I have now been taking Escitalopram for the better part of just over 2 weeks. I had a look in the box and I think there's about 18 doses or so gone, around about 10 left there out of the 28 that I had. One of the main sort of things is, right now, how do I feel with them? Well, I'm not gonna lie, I feel pretty good. I've never felt as good as this with the venlafaxine. I haven't had any more physical, well, major physical issues with taking the Escitalopram. I only felt like I was going to vomit that one time when I took the first one, and when I left work I almost vomited outside, which would have been amusing to anyone who was looking out of the window at the time. I've been finding that I am still I get tired during the day. I'm still not sure on when to take the Escitalopram. The thing is, I've not really played about with taking them at different times. I've generally been taking them during the day, sort of when I'm about half an hour into my shift at work, but I'm still getting tired in the evening. I'm wondering if maybe I should take them later, or maybe even mess about with taking them at night, but I'm going to wait until my next day off before maybe giving that one a try. The main thing that I'm noticing that is quite pronounced and quite noticeable is that I still get headaches. They're usually quite bad. I'm uncertain if that's still a withdrawal effect from the venlafaxine, or if it maybe is the Escitalopram sort of rewiring my brain. I've heard of something called brain zaps before. I'm not sure if it's that or not, but I think the best way to describe the headaches is that it feels like something is cutting into my skull, cutting into my brain. I think I mentioned this in the last video. It's to describe the side of my head as an axe wound on the side of a grizzly bear is the sort of sensation, the feeling that I get. It feels like an axe has gone through my brain, or perhaps an ice pick. There is also what I term as the mobile headache. That is a headache that seems to move around my skull. Along the analogy of brain zaps, what I'm thinking is a form of lightning storm that moves from the front of my skull to the back and then just sort of rotates around it. I've just been fighting that with just standard painkillers. Apart from that, mood-wise, I feel pretty stable, I feel pretty good. It would have been 3 weeks ago today that I stopped taking the venlafaxine. I was at work, I had an adverse reaction to them, but I was sitting with my work colleague who said that my mood and my mind, my state that I was in seemed to be fluctuating rapidly. Definitely my personality was affected. She said that she was actually quite concerned about me. She'd actually mentioned it to a good friend of mine as well who works in the office, that she was worried about me. I saw her in the office last week. I think that is the first time that I've had the chance to speak with her, and I sat down with her and she just she asked if I was okay, and I said, you know what, I feel normal. I feel fine. I feel alright. My mood's not up and down and all over the place, and I haven't been throwing up with the new medication that I'm taking. So, her sort of worries are a bit alleviated there. So my next days off work are towards the end of the month. That is next weekend there. So I will be going to my doctor. I've been speaking with a friend outside of work, and as I described my mental state to her, she observed me and she smiled. She was like a mad scientist watching bacteria inside of a jar through a microscope. She was absolutely fascinated by what I had to say about my state of mind and my state of thinking. She even had a few ideas as to other things that I might be suffering from. She believes that I'm exhibiting symptoms of a borderline personality disorder, as well as perhaps being bipolar. I honestly don't know. I'm guessing such things could go hand in hand with the Asperger's syndrome that I suffer from, as well as the depression that has been a companion for the last sort of 15 years or so. I guess it's very possible that my brain does have other passengers within it that need to get a ticket to ride. So I will go to my doctor and ask for a psychological evaluation. It's the thing, it's so easy to judge other people and so difficult to judge oneself on such things. My friend had suggested to talk to the doctor about the possibilities of supplemental medications. She'd mentioned one called quetiapine, I believe, and she'd also spoken about perhaps getting an antihistamine to help me sleep. I'm still having issues with sleep, but the issues are now different. Yes, I am managing to sleep, but it's more that I'm not getting enough sleep and not at the right times. I think that's one of the reasons why I'm getting tired at work, because I'm going to bed and getting about 3 hours sleep and feeling fine off of that, and being awake very early in the morning, way before I even think about starting work. So that sort of not getting enough sleep is something that seems to be quite an issue for me at the moment. And then, of course, being tired early in the evening, going to bed early, it's having a knock-on sort of effect gradually over time. I'm wondering if perhaps taking the escitalopram at a different time of day, or maybe even in the evening itself, might help to negate that a bit, to perhaps move my body's rhythm into the way that I would prefer it to be. I've also been finding that my appetite as well hasn't really returned. I'm not eating as much as I used to, which, losing a bit of weight, so I don't mind that. Like, fat guy is not as rotund as he used to be, but I'm just wondering if that's something that may return after a while. Having spoken to people and watched a few YouTube videos on this medication, people say that it seems to make them hungrier, but I haven't really had that sort of effect. I'm usually the sort of person that would snack during the day. I would have a few things on my desk, a pack of crisps, sweets, etc. But I've not been doing that recently. Literally just been having a sandwich before I leave the house, and then I'd get something on the way to work. There's a cheap frozen food store that does sort of ready meals, so I would just grab something from there for like £1.50 and throw it in the fridge at work, and then just microwave it on my break, and that's generally fine for me at work. I found I haven't been drinking as much coffee, instead preferring to drink tea for some reason. I don't know if that's... This medication may make you more British and make you want to drink tea rather than coffee. But I don't know if that's perhaps also having a health benefit, that I'm not literally filling myself with as much caffeine as I can handle every day. Perhaps that's what's causing the tiredness. I found that the general sort of brain thinking has been also quite smooth. I did have some moments on the venlafaxine where I'm sitting in front of a computer at work and thinking, I have no idea how any of the systems here work. Oh well. Yeah, that's not helpful. But recently I've not really found much issues or problems with that. I've found that my general sort of brain thinking capacity has been fine. However, that being said, after the last video that I made, I'd used my work headset to record it, and I forgot to put it in my bag to take into work, so yeah, I had to borrow a headset from one of the managers in the office. She was fine with it. She just said, please don't lose my headset, because IT will kill me if I lose any more headsets, which I felt was quite amusing. But yes, I gave her it back at the end of the shift. I didn't steal her headset or forget about it or anything. Anyway, that has been another episode of Mental Health Stuff, or How StooDogg Learned to Hate the Bomb and Love Drugs. I guess this could be an ongoing thing as I sort of experiment and play about with different types of things for my condition. The next video, no doubt, will be after my next conversation with the doctor. I will simply go in and just say that I I want to be mentally analysed rather than going in and saying, I think I have this and I think I have that. I'll go in and I'll say, Doc, I want a referral to someone who can, you know, just give me the proper once-over, ask me the appropriate questions, sort of look for the appropriate triggers, and, you know, find out what I do or do not have, and then just take the treatment options from there. And I think that's probably the best way to move forward. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. See ya!